To my channel. Today's topic is we need police on the internet. Now, a lot of people have said, well, if we have police in the internet, we're going to lose our rights, and then the government is going to control everything, and we're not going to get any say in what gets taken out of the internet and what gets put in the internet. And there's been an anonymous, it's called Anonymous. He is also like, it's not a hacker, he's not a hacker, but he's like a person who doesn't want surveillance on the internet, on what we can watch and what we can see. And necessarily speaking, this video is not for that precisely. It's more on the side of police. We need police on the internet. Yes, we need freedom of speech and in the websites, and the government shouldn't take away the freedom of speech from these sites. We should keep them, but at the same time, besides having the rights, we need the police there to investigate issues that happen, and call it a cybersecurity department. It could be like a cybersecurity department. But we need police, and I'm going to say why in this video. And I hope it makes you think a little bit more on why it's important to have police. Because, for example, we, in the real life, we have police. We have police outside of the internet. But our rights are not taken away. The same thing should be with the internet. Our rights should not be taken away to see videos that are controversial and have freedom of speech. It should be the same. We have those rights, like the Bill of Rights. We have the Bill of Rights to protect us, and we have police. See how the police are involved, but we still have our Bill of Rights? The same thing should happen with the internet. Main issue with the internet that I've seen is the black market and human trafficking. The black market is where organs are traded, and children are traded, women are traded, little boys are traded, and with human trafficking, it involves babies too, unfortunately. Now, I think this would stop if the email providers like Google, Yahoo, MSN, AOL cooperate with authorities, with a police, a cyber police, and make it mandatory for people to put their identification card. There should be an identification card. In Mexico, we have one. It's called INE, and it allows you to vote. And it allows you to do documents, legal documents, because it has your picture and your address. So it has a picture and your address and your first and last name, legal last name. And it gives you a number that it's yours only, and it identifies you. And I think email providers globally, there should be an INE. And INE is an identification card like they do in Mexico. And once these email providers have this identification card on there, they have to make sure that it's valid, or else your email provider will give you a fine. It can give you a fine if you don't put your identification card. I think by putting that, it's easier for police, cybersecurity police, to know who you are and where you live if you break the law online. And it keeps us safe too. Alright, a cybersecurity department. We should have the freedom of speech, again, freedom of protest, and freedom of self-expression online. However, we need police to monitor the internet, like we have police outside of the internet. And have the power to track people if they're doing crimes. How would they track people? With their identity card, their INE. You can find on the internet little children getting raped, including babies. These videos should be taken down by the police, and the people who posted them should get jail time, including the website owner for allowing that in his website. We need a cybersecurity department for police officers online. I noticed once that this man was flirting with a little girl through an online chat on Google. If they were cybersecurity police, that little girl could report it to that man to them and have him arrested. If we had that cybersecurity police and we had that identification card, and it has to be verified that it's you on all email providers. We have the freedom of speech and the rights that should not be taken away again by having a cybersecurity department. That shouldn't be taken away, those rights. What is unacceptable is that we should have police officers out in the open. What is unacceptable is that we have police officers out in the open but not online. That's my main argument. In problem finding police officers, this is a real thing that's happening right now. In several places, one is Tulsa, Oklahoma, police officers are scarce, and recruiters are having a hard time finding firefighters, bus drivers, and other government workers, including police officers, as I mentioned previously. The Marshall Project found employment numbers show that Americans have been slowly opting out of all local government jobs over the last few years. Bynum is one of the dozens of city leaders, police chiefs, and sheriffs around the country who have blamed police hiring woes primarily on protests and public expressions of distrust, which swelled after the May 2020 killing of George Floyd. Who was George Floyd? George Floyd was 46, and he was in St. Louis Park. He was repeatedly... St. Louis Park, sorry. He was from there. He was from St. Louis Park. He repeatedly told Minneapolis police officer that he couldn't breathe, and as the officer put his knee on his neck, and he says, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe," and he didn't back away, and basically he killed him. All right, silence is violence. I can prove that silence is violence because this is Lord to God. I am honest, and I am honest unto the Bible, that I witnessed a crime where I was in college. When I was in college, I don't want to say the details because it involves a future lawsuit that I'm going to be in, but I witnessed a crime. I saw someone try to kill a nice boy that I knew, and I didn't call the police because I thought I would make the situation worse. Because I thought if I call the police, I'm going to make the situation worse, and then they're going to kill him right in front of me. But no, I should have called the police because he ended up missing, and I know that I could have saved his life. So please, people, if you see something, a criminal activity being made, learn from my regret. Call the police. That's why they're there. They're there to help. And that's how silence is violence. Silence is violence. And these people were protesting that he couldn't breathe. And this ignited historic protests, even in history.com. This George Floyd, he's really famous because of this. There was actually also protests with fire. It was serious. People were really angry at this. The officers were sentenced to prison too. Thank God that they're in prison now. But solutions to decrease in government spots that are looking for employees. I have some solutions for that, and I hope someone in power can see this video and take the advice that I give. We live in a time that employers want to make employees work as much as possible with no retirement, and they don't realize that this is one of the reasons why they quit. Police officers in government jobs work for long hours. I think if they decreased the hours and hired more people to fill in those spots, they would get lots of applicants. For example, work from 8 to 3 hours. 8 to 3. They should also get the same benefits as teachers where they don't work on holidays. Random people should fill in for them during the holidays and be paid twice. They should also get retirement and benefits. This is rare and it explains why people are discouraged from working without retirement. I think retirement is a huge deal here. We need to be less greedy and take care of our employees because they take care of our businesses, our people, our townspeople. If they're the police, they make sure that everybody is safe, and police officers are supposed to make you feel safe. We take a look at George Floyd, where police didn't act ethically, and they harmed an innocent man of 46 years old. He had a life ahead of him. Every black life matters, and I think everybody knows that, and that's why they had those protests. In no way do I think people are more they want to be able to work shorter hours and be paid a fair wage. So you could offer from 8 to 3 hours. That would be around 7 hours, So if make them work 7 hours only, like teachers, 7 to 8 hours. I think that's a full-time job. But make them choose their schedules, and also give them retirement and benefits, holidays. Give them holidays, and hire other people to fill in during their holiday break. And I think that's one way we can solve the issue of having low amount of people wanting to be police officers or government officials. And that's one way to solve it. So I hope you enjoyed my talk, and I hope this incites you to talk about the importance of cybersecurity in the internet, the importance of having police officers take care of bad guys the black market would not exist if police officers had the power to shut those sites down and put those people in jail, whoever are the owners of those black market websites, and whoever are the owners of those teenagers who they rape online, who are teenagers, little girls and little boys. If the police had the power to shut those websites down without violating freedom of speech, without violating their rights, then I think, like the Bill of Rights, that's what I mean by their Bill of Rights. Without violating the Bill of Rights, I think the police cybersecurity, should have that power to shut those websites down and put those people in jail for participating in illegal activities of selling human children, and for sex, and or labor, or also the black market organs. I think it would not exist if we had cybersecurity police, which brings me back to my main point. We need police on the internet. Now my question for you is, when is it going to happen? Goodbye. And if you have any questions or queries, leave them down below. Spark a conversation.